Good morning. This is Mr. Gerald again, starting week 4 of our online schooling for our coronavirus quarantine. Um, I've emailed and chatted with a few of you. Most of you seem to dislike this, um, and I agree. I'm with you. I dislike this as well. I'd rather be at school, working, and seeing each of your lovely faces, smiling faces as you come in to what is most likely your least favorite class, math, and that's okay. Although I know some of you it is your absolute favorite because math rocks. But anyway, hey, we're going to be starting on proportions this week. Okay, we're going to be starting on proportions. All right, and we're going to be getting into the lesson here shortly. But I wanted to tell you that if you've got ever, or if you ever have any issues or problems, or just want to chat, just want to visit or communicate with somebody other than your little brother, little sister, your cousin, mom, dad, whatever the case is, shoot me an email. All right, message me on Google Classroom, message me on Remind, just to say, hello, Mr. Gerald, how are you? I will reply to you. Um, and just to say, hey, what are you doing? And I'll visit with you, and I don't have any problem doing that. So if you ever got any issues or problems, please let me know. All right, so we're looking at week 4. We're going to go into proportions. So just like we did last week, I'm going to have a cheat sheet prepared for you, or we have one prepared for you. I'm going to walk through it. But what I noticed with this worksheet is that we don't have some of the information that we need in order to go through this. So we have the information, but it's been a long time. This is back from last fall. I want to September, maybe October time frame. This was Unit 3 proportions. So it's been a while. We've done some reviews, but I needed to remind you how things go. So, excuse me. So I'm going to do several videos. I'm going to do the video for just this worksheet first. And then I'm going to go back to our packet later, and I'll have different video series, if you will, so that you can kind of go through and remind yourself how to do it. If you remember how to do things, this might be the only video that you need to watch and might be the only worksheet that you need. But some of you might need the other videos and the other worksheets from that packet. Okay, so before I start, I'm going to go back. I'm going to look at the very first sheet of the proportions packet. And if you'll remember, these are all the different faces. I call them my Chuck faces because I've seen Chuck make lots of different little faces kind of like this. And Chuck said something about some faces that I make, but she said that I normally look like this guy. I don't know if I agree with that. But anyway, all right, seriously. Okay, so let's take a look at ratios. All right, so ratios, all right, is when you compare, it's a comparison of two numbers. Okay? Now, you can write it in how many different ways? Who remembers? How many different ways can you write it? Anybody? Come on, wake up. I know it's early. Okay, very good. You can write it in 3 different ways. All right? You can write that ratio in 3 different ways. All right. And then this is important as well. The order in which you write the ratio, the order is important. Okay. And I've told you that many, many times. Okay. I'm not going to do all of these. Okay. But I am going to do a couple. All right. And you should remember doing this in class previously. So let's take a look. So the first one says teeth to no teeth. So if you come down here, we're going to start on this first column. We'll start right here at first, and we'll look at see where the teeth are. Okay, there's showing teeth there. You go to the second column. There's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So there are 9 teeth. So if you have 9 teeth, we're going to write 9, and we're going to put a colon. Then it says there's 9, or excuse me, then no teeth. Well, how many of them don't have teeth? Okay, so we'll go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. So there are 15. I know I did that quickly, but you've got your packets right there with you. I know that. So 9 to 15. So there are 9 to 15. We can write it this way with a colon. That's one of the 3 ways. The second way is to write it as like a fraction form, 9 to 15. But when you look at this fraction, let's simplify it. Okay, both the numerator, which is the top, or the denominator, the bottom, can be divided by 3. So let's simplify and divide by 3. It gives us 3 over 5. That's our final answer. Okay, that would be our final answer. All right, and so if you'll remember, you can write it as a colon. That's the first way, or not as a, but with a colon. Then you can write it as a fraction. But the other way would be to write it as a sentence. You can say the ratio of teeth to no teeth is 3 to 5. Okay, those are the 3 different ways that you can write a ratio. Okay, a ratio compares 2 numbers. Okay, in this case, we're going teeth to no teeth. All right, and so you can look at each one of these. We've got big eyes to teeth, comparing a tongue to the total. So you're still looking at 2 numbers, but you're just comparing different numbers, okay? All right, so that's looking at the ratios. Now remember, a proportion is a term that you use when there are 2 equal what? Who knows? Very good. Okay, please raise your hand. I know we're in quarantine, but come on, folks. All right, 2 equal ratios. All right, proportions can be used to solve for the missing pieces of information. All right, now, so we have 2 ways to solve for proportions, okay? There are 2 ways to solve. Scaling or cross multiplication. Scaling or cross multiplication. So if you remember scaling, okay, 2/3 equal to x over 24. So if you'll remember, scaling, there's some folks that like purple, so I'm going to use purple. Okay, if you remember, scaling says 3 times something, so 3 multiplied by what gives you 24? 3 multiplied by what? Good, it's 8. So 3 multiplied by 8, that's awful, ugly looking 8. Okay, 3 times 8. So that means if you scale the bottom, you have to scale the top. So 2 times 8. So that means our x is 2 times 8. 2 times 8 is equal to 16. So x is equal to 16. Okay, very good. Oops, I circled it. I need to put a box around it. Y'all know that. All right, excellent. So now that is scaling. Okay, then the second way is cross multiplication. So if I were to use 2/3 or 2 over 3 is equal to x over 24. Cross multiply means you're going to go across the equation from one side to the other. So you're going to go with the 2 and the 24. Those are across. Okay, and then you'll go with the 3 and the x. Okay, that is your cross multiplication. So 2, okay, times 24, okay, is equal to 3 times x. All right, now this is an equation that we've solved from the very beginning. Take a quick look at it and see what you can do. Okay, all right, excellent. I see most of you have gotten this. Some of you are a little bit stuck because, well, 1, it's early, and 2, your multiplication. I know you're still trying to multiply. 2 times 24 is 48. Is equal to 3x, okay? Now, the final step to solve this problem is to, good, awesome, inverse and balance. So you're dividing both sides by 3. That gives me a 1x divided by 3. Okay, so 48 divided by 3. Anybody, any idea? 48 divided by 3. Good. 16 is equal to x. Look at that. These 2 answers, okay, these 2 answers are the same. Wow, look, you can do the same, find the same answer, 2 different methods. Okay? All right. Proportions. 2 ways to solve proportions. Okay, and there's our ratio. All right, so that's a very, very quick intro to ratios and proportions.